Hi, everyone. I'm Tess, and I am going to be going over the tech reset agreement with you. There's a lot in here that I didn't put on here that will be important for you to keep in mind as you go through this agreement with your child or teen. First is that we've got the right up top here. I kept it positive and I put the values that are important to many families about the relationship being the most important thing and their connection, and that screen time is a privilege in the home, and that the devices are to be used with care, intent to enjoy, learn, and interact with others, but keeping that primary value in mind of the relationship. Right here in this section, we've got meal times or a device-free zone. This is one of the few times during the day that we can all get together as a family. So it's nice to be able to have the devices put away, even for just that short time. And as much as we can do that as parents, that's going to be helpful. Screen time will not get in the way of homework and chores and other extracurricular activities that our kids are involved in. And that devices are to be used appropriately and safely. And I'm hoping that you will have a conversation with your tween or teen, especially about the safety, and that we don't give out phone numbers and addresses and names and all of that with anyone that we are connecting with online or meeting in a game or anything like that. We also have right here that devices are only allowed in these rooms. I like this because I like to have the bedrooms as a device-free zone, at least at a certain time. So like maybe perhaps 9 o'clock, the devices leave the bedrooms and they're out so that the kids can get settled down for sleep. This area here's all the days, and then we've got the different devices. Depending on the time of year, this may be different for school time versus the summertime. And during school time, I often have Monday through Friday is no Xbox or PlayStation or the gaming devices for my tween. And then sometimes families may want to do like Sunday as a completely device-free day for everyone. So you can put that in here. But you can designate the different devices and the hours on that day. And again, depending on the time of year, summer is going to look different than probably the school year. And so you can go through that with your child or teen. Page 2, this section, the top part, is the how. This is how they're going to get off their device. So I will end my screen time by, and here is one of the most important parts. This is how you are going to do this with your child or teen. And this can look different for different families, depending on the child, their development, and their own temperament, and how well they do with transitions. For example, years ago, when my tween boy was younger, I would actually physically go up to him, and I do think this helps with younger kids, and it can be helpful with older kids as well. But talking about this ahead of time, I would go up to him and put my hand on his shoulder and just let him know, hey, sweetie, you've got about 10 minutes before the TV is going to go off, or the iPad needs to be turned in, whatever that is, and letting him know that it's going to be happening and it's going to be coming. And I would also, at times, have him practice with me. So, for example, a time when he had the iPad, he would need to, just as we were starting to get going with doing agreements, I'd have him actually role play what that's going to look like. And I'd let him know, okay, I'm going to either the timer's going to go off, or typically it was me calling him one time that it's going to be coming off, giving him a lead time. And what is he going to do? And he would practice handing me the iPad. So he almost got into the place where he's practicing ahead what's going to be coming. And what tends to be hard for a lot of kids is getting out of that virtual world and coming back to the present. And it does help to have some kind of transition plan. And this is really important, especially if you know that your kid needs a little bit more connection and a little bit more lead time with transitions. Really look at this part, talk about it, what's going to work best for them, how you're going to do it, and role play and practice if you need to, because that can really help with the outcome. and compliance of doing this. Next section here is about the child or teen following the agreement, and that if they don't follow the agreement, that they need to take a certain break. You can make that as quick as 10 minutes or an hour, maybe 24 hours, and taking a certain break. And then I like to just say, we're just going to review how are you going to get off whatever the device is after they have not followed it, just so we kind of review. They don't necessarily need to go through the entire reset agreement, but I have him practice and let me know what we're going to do differently when he hasn't been able to follow through. Last part here that's highlighted is if they do follow the screen time agreement and what the reward is. And even if it's just the one time that they have, done well with turning off the device, taking the headphones off and they're done with gaming, if you can get there and just acknowledge that and praise them for getting off, you are going to be reinforcing the positive, reinforcing the good and what you're hoping for. But here is a space where you can put the reward. And there have been times where when my son has done well, he's asked for maybe either that day or maybe the next day, but wants to connect with a friend for an extra 30 minutes doing something. And if he has been doing it and following through, I'll let him do that. Or there's maybe, going for ice cream or playtime after school with a parent, or a trip to the mall, something like that, to let them know that you do appreciate their work in transitioning well off of the device and paying attention to that. Last part here is obviously the child or teen signature and the parent signature. This place right here just lets them know that this is important to you. This is an important value. You've made an agreement, and that in our family, we will follow the agreements and hold them to the agreement. So that is just a little bit of background. If you have any questions, please reach out to me and ask me a question. I hope this helps.